Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. Now, football's gone. Basketball is the new Valentine's sweetheart. Why do I say that? You got to understand, there's a lot going on in the basketball world that we need to talk about. Starting first and foremost with the fact that if you're a free agent, stay away from New York City. Please stay away. The Knicks are messier than the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Love and Hip Hop, Black Ink. You name the VH1 show or anything you want to name that has more drama than the New York Knicks right now. I can't think of anything. Phil Jackson, for some reason, he will not leave Melo alone. Now, I don't know if it's just because he doesn't like Melo or he doesn't like the way he plays. At this point, I have no idea what it is. I mean, you want to say it's because he feels like Melo can't run the triangle offense, but I think it's more of a clash of personalities, to be completely honest with you. Now, Melo, he's got a no trade clause. Now, that no trade clause means that New York essentially has to honor that because Melo, when he signed that deal, he has a say as to when they can trade him when it's in season. He can opt to say, no, I don't want to be traded. I don't want to go there. And the Knicks' hands are tied. So the fact that Phil Jackson would go as far to alienate this man and make him feel as though he's just simply not welcome in the building, which is Madison Square Garden, is ridiculous. Now, the New York Knicks, I don't like the fact that Phil Jackson's publicly demasculinated this man. Have you read the book $40 Million Slaves by William Roden? Well, that book, they talk about the conveyor belt system as well as different tactics that are used in this whole professional sports deal when it comes to African-American athletes. Now, this reeks a little bit of that $40 million slave undertone that was mentioned in that book. Why do I say that? You've got Phil Jackson coming out publicly and saying demonstrative, egregious things about Carmelo Anthony that Melo's been, quite honestly, very humble about. He's taking the high road. If I were Melo, I probably would have said by now, Phil Jackson, why don't you be quiet with that grade 2 pay that you've had since 1998? I would have gone off maybe, but that's why I'm not Melo. That's why I'm on Zono Sports. Now, Charles Oakley last night, he ain't happy. Did you all see what happened and took place during that game that actually paused and stopped the game? Charles Oakley evidently got into it with security. Now, a little bit of background history on Charles Oakley. Ex-Knicks player, last year was 1998 with that team. Now, James Dolan is the owner of the New York Knicks. He came in 1999. So that was a year after Charles Oakley had already left from New York. So I look at this whole situation. Madison Square Garden, it turned into a family barbecue gone wrong. You ever been to one of those barbecues? You're on the grill, you see somebody on the grill, and then you hear one auntie say something about an uncle, and then another cousin say something about a nephew, and then it just goes all crazy, and people are getting into it back and forth. That's what happened, essentially, on TV last night with the New York Knicks, live on ESPN, which is a bad look when you live in New York. Now, even Spike Lee even came out and said, I'll help Phil pack his bags. So, Spike, they may need you to go ahead and pack those up and short ship. You can Amazon Prime it back to his next location, Spike Lee. How about that? Now, what did he say that got him drug out of the VIP room? What did Charles Oakley say about James Dolan or to him, heckling him in the stands? Because when you're a paying customer and you pay for that ticket, you spend that buck, you're entitled to run your mouth and say whatever you really want. I mean, he paid the money to be there. He can say what he wants as long as he's not threatening the man. Now, if he did say some things like that, those are grounds for being removed from the facility. However, I'm not sure that's what was said. Maybe he said the Knicks stink. You're doing a bad job, James Dolan. They need to get you out of here. You're a bum. You've been a bum. Even if he's saying things along those lines, you can't just grab the man up on national television and say, we need to get him out of here, especially with the fact that New York fans love this man. He was there in 98. He was there with Ewing. Okay, he was there in Sprewell days. So we can't fault a person who has a passion for an organization that's frankly in shambles right now. The Knicks are bums. They're bad. Everybody knows that. Phil Jackson, you messed up this kitchen. Now, you're trying to clean it up by trying to alienate Melo from his hometown, by trying to justify actions as to what you're doing in leadership because you haven't made great acquisitions. Yeah, you got Porzingis. You gave Melo that big deal. Now you resent him for the deal. You paid him the money, Phil. You got Derrick Rose. He goes out and he's hanging out and you don't know where he's at. And granted, he did say he had family issues, so we understand that. But you didn't do anything when Derrick Rose left. You guys just kind of were cool about it. But then Charles Oakley, a person who doesn't even play for the Knicks, comes in and does that. And it's a big scene. It's a big raucous event that takes place. That was pitiful. So Phil Jackson, I'm a big-time Lakers fan. I must say, the Kobe days, Shaq days, I loved it. But I don't think he did a great job managing that relationship either, okay? Phil Jackson, you're going to be out of New York very soon, and I'm sure they'll do something about it, hopefully, because you haven't done a great job as president of the Knicks. And I have to be completely honest about that. Moving on, Chef Curry keeps the pot hot, but his peoples did make him hot. Why do I say that? Under Armour CEO Kevin Plank, he called Donald Trump our new 45th president an asset to the United States because he's a businessman. He's a great businessman. That's essentially what he said. Now, Steph responded in the media by saying what they should do is remove the ET from the statement asset when referring to President Trump. Now, we don't usually see Steph Curry come out and say things so vociferously as we did in this instance. However, we can see that there's a lot of athletes who have a lot of issues with what Donald Trump said as far as social relations across the United States as well as internationally. There's a lot of things that pro athletes are not liking right now, that they're not happy with, that they have some discontentment with. Now, we look at the Super Bowl winners, the New England Patriots. Martellus Bennett and Devin McCourty have already said they will not be going to the White House. I would hate to see us lose tradition because we have people that don't agree particularly with what our president does, because I think visiting the White House is a great opportunity and it's great to tell kids about, even if you don't particularly agree with what a party is saying or what a person is saying. I think the opportunity in itself, you have to do that because not everybody gets to step foot into the Oval Office, into the White House. So think about that, guys. But I would really hate to see America lose its tradition by athletes declining to go to the White House. But I understand the reasons why some may do it. I understand they may not agree with some of the things that have been said over the past year. So if they choose to do that, that's their prerogative. But losing that type of tradition, seeing the champions stand up there and hearing the president give the speech about their efforts and why they're champions, that would be so sad for sports. Don't you think so? But Chef, I just appreciate Chef for being Chef, using his platform. There you go. Now, NCAA hoops tonight, Thursday night. Duke versus UNC. Grayson Allen, you got a ball, big dog. I know you're friends with Joe Barry, but Duke needs this win, I think, a lot more than UNC because they had the couple losses when Coach K was out with the back surgery. That'll be a big game tonight. I want to say it's in Cameron Indoor, and they get rowdy in there. We all know that. Oregon at UCLA, that's a rematch of the Heartbreaker game. Now, the Heartbreaker game, of course, when UCLA mismanages it late in the game, and then Oregon comes down and hits the three to win it. UCLA says, Lonzo Ball, will you be ours this Valentine's Day? Will Lonzo ball out? Will he do what he's supposed to do and be our All-American? That's what UCLA's thinking in Pauley Pavilion. So it'll be rowdy in there tonight. It'll be turned up. It'll be lit. It'll be everything in one. So make sure you check that game out tonight, Thursday night on ESPN. It'll be a good game. I'm going to watch it because I want to see if Thomas Welsh has developed it all. Thomas Welsh, they need you to come on. They need you tournament time, UCLA does. Lonzo Ball can't do it all himself. So got a lot of big games, and it's just stressing me out thinking about what type of juice we may get tonight because I want to squeeze it back out on Tuesday and talk about all the things that went on this past weekend for sports. Now, another college team I got to address, Kentucky. When will you guys GPS some defense? 92-85, they beat LSU the other night, but they hit like 3 or 4 or 5 threes in the last minute and made it a 7-point loss, which that game was well out of hand. They were up by 20 at some point, but Kentucky just looked bad down the stretch. Malik Monk, you turned into a gun after you scored 47 points against North Carolina. Stop being a gun. I understand that you're trying to get to the next level. We all see what type of talent you are, but don't you want to win a championship? Don't you want to be like Tyus Jones, Jahlil Okafor, and win that your championship year? Come on, man. Get off of that, man. Pass that rock a little bit. Move the ball around. Get it to where Coach Calipari wants it because He is a championship caliber coach. He's won one. Yes, he's been to a couple Final Fours, maybe not won as many as people would like for him to have won, but he's been there. So just listen to the man. He did it at Memphis. He did it at UMass. He's had success. Yeah, they had some other issues at those schools under his reign, but Calipari's done it. So just listen to him. And Briscoe, you've gotten lazy on D. You got to be a better defender, got to be a leader. You're a sophomore. And in this system, on Coach Cal's team, a sophomore is considered a veteran. So you got to do a better job of leading with defense first and make sure that they get that ball inside the Bam. Bam is a first-round NBA talent. Bam Adebayo is a top 5 NBA draft pick. So why are we not working the ball inside out? Why are we not doing that? So Kentucky, the only way that you'll win a national championship is you get that ball and flow that offense through Bam, and Malik Monk stop jacking up shots. And Briscoe, you got to stop worrying about spin moving and laying the ball up. Play some defense, Briscoe. That's what's going to get you in the NBA. Not none of that showboat Harlem Globetrotters. None of that's going to get you in the NBA. What you need to do is focus on your game, your strengths. Your weaknesses, work on those in the offseason. But right now, they need you to do what you do best, which is play defense. That's who you are. And talent, I mean, to be the 2012 team, they had a lot of talent. They had Anthony Davis. I want to say they had Briscoe. They had a lot of guys on that team who were very good. Now, they've got the talent to be the 2012 team, this Kentucky team does, but they're playing like the NIT squad. The squad where Noel got hurt and the season went down in shambles. You guys look like an NIT team right now. That's who you look like. You don't look like a top seed or a number 2 seed. You look like borderline bums. Basically, that's what you look like, Kentucky. So you guys got to fix up the defensive issues, or else you will be sitting on the couch late March, early April, watching and eating popcorn, sitting on the couch with T.O. I should have dragged T.O. joking here. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Put T.O. in the Hall of Fame. Now, NCAA football-wise, Baylor, they need to be cleaned up. Art Briles' text messages released last week. Very, very graphic text messages of things he was saying. And assistant strength coach got caught in a prostitution sting the other day. Stuff just keeps getting worse and worse for Baylor. I just really think that the NCAA should do something to... I don't want to say death penalty. Maybe we can call it something friendlier, like the not right now penalty, or the maybe later, or fixing it up penalty, because they need to do something with Baylor football, because obviously they have a lack of control over these athletes and these players. And their leadership cannot lead effectively because of the things they're doing. And when we talk about college, we got to talk about moral values and teaching character. And the things that have come out, I don't think those individuals have shown that they know how to lead. So Baylor, that's just maybe too much to fix up right now. They may have to revisit football in a few years, but right now, I just don't know. Next show, we'll talk about Golden State and KD. They hit OKC primetime Saturday night. Lil Jon's been yelling about it all week on my TV. But Slim the Reaper, he will reap consequences of his actions. Slim Reaper, whatever you want to call KD, whatever nicknames he garnered there in OKC, he will get it when he goes back to that arena. When he comes out, I don't think he comes out to cheers. The way he left, he will come out to a big rousing boo. So Russell Westbrook, he's going to be ready to play. He'll be juiced up. He's played 2 games in Golden State this year. He's ready to get KD back in his arena, where it's Russell's house now. Now, Russ is going to go at KD's neck in the house that he helped build. But now Russ feels like, this is my house because you left. You walked out on us. You walked out on our family. So what does a man do when he feels like his family's been threatened? He defends his family. So that'd be a good game to watch Saturday night. Make sure you check it out. Thank you for watching the Zoe Knows Sports Show, where I always try to give you the juice. And also where you know Zoe knows.